Hi, this is Jay the Wanderer with Oakland Latinos Unidos, aka Oakland Latinos United, the voice of the Latino community on YouTube, the Bay Area, Oakland, and beyond. What you're looking at right there is a picture of Christopher Columbus, the biggest joke on the American continent in my views. There you go. Christopher Columbus supposedly discovered America, and like 2 days ago it was Columbus Day, which is a fucking holiday I don't celebrate because I don't consider it a holiday, because I don't see how the fuck Christopher Columbus discovered anything. But anyway, I read a little bit about Christopher Columbus when I was in high school, and I can still remember questioning my teacher of how is it he discovered America if there was already people here. And I remember my teacher getting mad at me because I wasn't going with the program. Well, fuck the program. I don't want to learn about this fucking dumbass. Who was Christopher Columbus? He was some Italian guy who was hired by the Spanish royal family, I guess, to find a trade route through Asia, and something about the world being flat, and he proved them it wasn't. But then when he landed in the island of, what was it, San Salvador or Santo Domingo or wherever he landed, somewhere in the Caribbean, he thought it was Asia, but the people that were there were actually Native Americans, so he called them Indians because he thought he was like in India or something. But anyway, I don't know the whole story in detail, so I'm not going to pretend to get into it. All I know is Christopher Columbus didn't discover shit. Christopher Columbus, all he did was discover America for the Europeans, because America, the American continent, because America is not just the United States, the American continent in general is a big continent. And Christopher Columbus didn't even know he was in the American continent. Like I said, he thought at first he was in like India or something like that. And Christopher Columbus, to me, he ain't shit. Cristobal Colon, as he was known in Italy and Spain, is a fraud to me. He was an explorer who came and opened the doors to the biggest genocides ever in the world. And I mean the genocide of all the Native Americans in the American continent. You know, look at the Caribbean islands. They had so many tribes there. So many. They had the Arawaks, they had the Caribs, they had the Tainos, the Siboney. They had so many others that I can't remember at this moment. And when Christopher Columbus and his dirty-ass explorers came and spread their diseases and killed everyone for gold and for all other stuff to colonize all the islands, they basically massacred all the Indians in the Caribbean, so much so that they had to bring slaves, African slaves, to do all the work. That's why today in the Caribbean there are more people of African descent and Indian than native descent, because they were all killed off in the mass genocide that was brought forth by that guy right there, Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon. Christopher Columbus is celebrated as this hero in America, but that doesn't surprise me. In this country and this continent, we always celebrate fucking bullshit people like that. Christopher Columbus was nothing but a fucking opportunist who fucking brought forth one of the biggest plagues and one of the biggest fucking genocides ever. Because after that, Hernan Cortez landed in Mexico and conquered the Aztecs. And then later you had the punk-ass pilgrims and those motherfuckers in Roanoke and all that shit basically landing and killing off all the Indians in Massachusetts and Virginia and all those states, which was the other mass genocide in the United States, the killing of the Indians here, all brought forward by that one, like John McCain would say, by Christopher Columbus. So I, for one, do not celebrate Christopher Columbus. I, for one, cannot stand that motherfucker. I, for one, wish that Christopher Columbus Day will cease to exist. We're celebrating a mass murderer and a mass genocide man. A fraud, and I don't know, he's a piece of shit. I do not like this man. I do not like to hear about this man. I could give a fuck less about Christopher Columbus, about anything about him. Because, like I said, he was the opener of the mass genocide of the American continent. And Christopher Columbus Day is a joke. It's a fucking joke. And if you do celebrate it, you should be ashamed of yourself, because that motherfucker was a piece of shit. I can't stand Christopher Columbus or Columbus Day. Fuck Columbus Day. Fuck Christopher Columbus. And fuck his whole story. His whole 1492 on the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. I don't give a fuck. You know? He didn't discover shit. The natives were already here. It had been discovered way before them. Like I said, he only discovered it to the white man, to the European. And I guess in history, that's what counts. Everyone else's history is bullshit except the Eurocentric white history of America and of Europe. So that's why it doesn't surprise me that we celebrate a man like this. A man who didn't really discover nothing at all. All he did was got lost and ended up on an island that he thought he was in India or wherever the fuck he thought he was. All I have to say is fuck Christopher Columbus. A piece of shit. If there is a hell, I hope he's burning there. I don't celebrate Columbus Day. And here, that's what I think about Christopher Columbus. Backwards, down in hell you go, you piece of fucking shit. Fucking piece of shit of a worthless man. Mass genocidal motherfucker. Fuck you, Columbus, and I don't celebrate your day because I don't like you. And reject Columbus Day today. Hell, let's put a proposition. Stop Columbus Day from existing. Fuck Columbus. But this is Jay the Wanderer, and that's my 2 cents about Cristobal Colon, the piece of shit. So I'm out. Oakland Latinos Unidos, signing off.